Hey everybody, welcome to art class. It's me, Matthew Reinhart, and we're going to make something cool today. Welcome back, all you art students out there. So glad to see you. It's great fun. Oh, I'm so excited for today. Today we're gonna make something really cool, something that I really loved making as a kid. Well, we're gonna make little diorama boxes, okay? We're gonna make them out of cardstock. We're gonna build little boxes, and then we're gonna make all kinds of little furniture or whatever is inside that little diorama box. And we're gonna make them so that we can stack them, so we can make multiple ones, and we could like build a little house. You could build whatever you want. We're gonna make, I'm gonna show you how to make a diorama box. Maybe I'll make a couple more, and I'll show you how I would make maybe some things to go inside of it. That's gonna be fun. Everything's gonna be miniature, so we get to make all that stuff to go inside our little diorama box. Ooh, this sounds really fun. I love making stuff out of paper. I mean, obviously, with the kind of books that I do there, I work with paper a lot. I always did as a kid because that was the only material I really had to work with. My parents didn't take me to Michael's. Actually, there were no Michael's back then that were near my house. So I would just kind of raid the garbage. Pretty much. I would go through all the stuff and find, whatever materials I could, and most of the time it was just paper and stuff. So today we're gonna start off, let's talk about some of the materials we're gonna use. Now the main material, just to make our little box that we're gonna use, we're just gonna use cardstock. So if you have any color cardstock, that's gonna be great to use. All right, I have a bunch of different colors here. Whatever color you want that little box, that room in our little diorama to be, you can use that color cardstock. You're probably gonna need 2 for each box. Next, you're going to need tools like scissors. We might need some glue. We definitely will use some tape. And I would say we definitely have to have one-sided tape. You can use transparent if you like this. And we also might use double-sided tape too. Because I really like to, instead of gluing, sometimes that's a little easier. Markers or crayons or colors, if we want to draw things and build it into our little house, so you can use those. Let's see, scissors. We may use a ruler, so bring out that ruler so we can measure things, because when we're making the box, we have to make sure all the sides are equal. And then, well, the other materials that we're going to use are what I like to call my scrap pile, like my craft scraps. Whenever I'm making a craft, I don't always use all the paper or felt or foam or whatever when I'm making crafts. So I have a big pile, and this is just a pile of stuff that I have. Maybe you have it too. You might want to have your own box of this stuff so that you don't throw away all these great extra scraps that I started to use. Like there's foam in here, there's felt. Ooh, we could make something out of this felt. That would be cool. Yarn, anything you can think of. See if you can find some. And if you don't have anything, do what I used to do as a kid. Go through well, you don't have to go through the garbage. Maybe go through the recycling bin. Here, I found from another craft that we did a while back. Remember that dinosaur skeleton? Well, I still have some leftover egg carton. I think I might use some of these for something inside the room. We need a piece of cardstock. I think I'm gonna start with this pink one. It's a real nice color. So let's push this stuff out of the way. Push this stuff out of the way. Let's get started. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna fold this. We're gonna fold this long ways. That's a hamburger, or excuse me. No. It's a hot dog fold. We're gonna fold this in half, going long ways, just like that. I'm just gonna crease it with my fingernail, or if you want, you could use the handle of your scissors and just rub it along there. Make sure, now you wanna really make sure that this corner and this corner are lined up properly. So you don't want it like this. When you fold it, you want to make sure that they're lined up perfectly. Okay? And now that they're lined up, and we folded it in half just like that, now what we're going to do is we are going to measure. Down here, let's measure. We need to make squares, right? And we're going to need to make, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 squares that are equal. And let's measure and see what the distance from here to here is with our ruler. Let's zoom in. Check this out. Let's measure it. It is 4 1/4 inches. All right? So we need to measure going this way 4 1/4 inches. And that makes sense because these sheets are usually 8.5 by 11. So if you divide 8.5 by 2, it's 4.25, or 4 1/4 inches. I wasn't the best math student, so please forgive me if I say things wrong that way, because I was not. Although, you know, what was really cool is I actually got to be featured in Scholastic magazine for a math magazine once. That is, I think, one of my proudest things I've ever. The fact that me, a terrible math student, could be in a math magazine. Oh my gosh, I was so honored. That was the coolest thing. Anyways, we learned in that magazine article, I got to help them teach students how what the difference between symmetrical things. So things that are symmetrical means same thing as on one side and the other. It was really cool. Anyways, I can't even explain it anymore because I forgot, because I'm so terrible with math. So, okay, so we've got, but I do know this from geometry. I do know that a square has the same distance on both sides, right here and here, or on all four sides, right? So we know that that's 4.25. That's 4.25 inches. That's 4.25 inches. Okay, so there's 2 squares. Let's make 2 more, so let's measure it out again. And I'm not going to, what's really weird is about this, I am not going to separate both of these. I'm going to leave them connected. Okay, so both of the squares, and I'm going to put a little mark on them just so we can see where they exist, right? So look, there's a square, there's a square. We're going to keep these connected, and we're going to keep these connected. And I'm just going to put a little line there so you can see it better out there in YouTube land. All right, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so next, let's make one more. Let's get another piece of paper over here. I think this time you could use different colored cardstock if you want. You don't have to have all the squares be the same color. In fact, you could have them all be different colors if you want to. I'm just going to trace this one really carefully. So and there we go. We've got 5 squares. And now let's put them together. Oops. And the reason why we're going to do that is that it's easier. It's easier for us to look at these 3. This is a wall, this is a wall, this is a wall. That's the ceiling, and that's the floor. So this way we can decorate this and we can see all the walls going across, looking across like that. Does that make sense? Well, I sure think it does. All right, there we go. All right, so this is the ceiling. You know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to put a little C up there just so we know. See, I put a little C there. Just so we know that's a ceiling. And I'm going to put a little F here. That's going to be the floor. In fact, I'm going to put it so that I can see it better, so you can see it better. I'm just going to put the C and F. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put something over that later on so that you can't see it. But we'll put decorations on it so you won't see those. But that way, that'll help us remember this is the floor and this is the ceiling. All right, so we've got our room. It's all together, and well, it will be together at one point. But we're going to decorate. I think we're going to decorate all these walls. And first, we got to think about like, what kind of room is this going to be? What do we want to turn this into? Now, it could be anything. So let's start with the door, and we're actually going to cut the door out of this side. And I'm just going to bring a pencil here. Let's see, we got a nice sharpened pencil. And we're just going to cut. We're going to draw it first. Let's draw the shape of our door here. I think it's going to be something like that. Doesn't have to be perfect. And we're only going to cut it. Let's see, we're only going to cut it on one side like this. So I'm going to cut it. There's the top of the door. And then we're going to stop it right there. See how I did that? I stopped it right there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to fold it. Now you can make any shaped door you want to. I made one that's round, but you could make it square on the top. You could make it triangular. You could do whatever you want. This is your choice. So that's going to be my door. See, it's going to be like that. So you can look inside. See, that's going to be like that. That's cool. And it'll work and everything like that. And we can decorate the door. I think I'm going to use some of my scraps here. Let's see. Ooh, you know what I'm going to turn that into? I'm going to use some white cardstock, and I'm going to trace this piece. and I'm gonna make it, ooh, wait till you see what I'm gonna do to the door. I'm gonna trace this, so that way I can draw on it, because sometimes when I marker, I'm gonna turn that into like rainbow candy door. So I'm just gonna do that, trace it, cut it out, like that, and it's gonna go right on top of that, like that. I'm gonna use some markers, and I'm going to make a rainbow on there. Oh, so there it is, my rainbow door. And I'm just gonna use, I think I'll use some glue. I'm just gonna glue it right on top of my other door, just like that. So now this is gonna be the fun part. This is gonna be the part where you decide, you're gonna do your own bit of decorating, your interior decorating here. So let's like start looking around. Let's see, I think I need to make some windows. So I think I'm gonna make a window here and a window here. So use a pencil to give yourself an idea and sketch out what you want to do on the page. Let's see, where's my pencil? Or on these, I think I'm going to make, how am I going to make these windows? I think I'm going to make a round window. I think I'll make a triangular window. And, I'm going to make a really weird shaped one. I'm going to make one that's shaped like a kind of like a fish window. Because of course I am. And then I'm going to just use my scissors. Now how do I get in there and cut that out? Well, just poke my pencil in there, make a big hole, just like that. Then use your scissors, or maybe a pair of scissors that's more comfortable for you. And we're going to cut it out. All right, there are my windows. Those are going to be windows. And so let's say we want to make something to line the windows. We want to make some window panes. So here's how I would do it. And let's use something different this time. Let's use, well, I've got this cool foam. Should I use some foam? Let's see if I got a nice color. See, I'm going through my scrap pile now, and I'm just looking and seeing what I got here. Because, you know, like when I'm making crafts, I always have leftovers of some of my craft materials. And sometimes you can use them. So I think I'm going to use this foam. And what I'm going to do is, let's see, can I see it? I'm going to trace, where'd my pencil go? The pencil escaped me. There we go. I think I'm going to do is I'm going to trace the fish, but I'm going to make the fish just smaller inside that window. See how I made it slightly smaller? Can you see that? See how it's slightly, here I'm going to make it in marker just so you can see. Where's a small marker? Let's see. Here, I'll show you. Now I'm going to trace it, but I'm going to kind of trace it smaller than it needs to be. So here's what I'm doing. And the reason why I'm doing this is we want our window pane to be slightly, have a slightly smaller hole in it. So see how I did that? And here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut it out. That was dumb of me. I made it in the middle of the foam piece. But I'm going to cut it out bigger, this much. See how I'm giving it a little bit more of an edge? There we go. So I'm giving it an edge, and I'm kind of, you know, there we go, just like that. Just rounding it out. Sometimes it's easier when you cut out something and it's cut out from the big piece of whatever material you're cutting from. Sometimes it's easier to cut it when it's separate like this. Now, this is the cool part. I'm going to cut the interior out, and I'm just going to snip right through there and cut this out, just like this. And make sure when you do it, you're cutting a little bit on the outside of the pencil lines you just made, or marker lines that you just made, so that we don't have to see them on the inside of our window pane. Okay, so there is my window pane for my fish window. Ooh, come back here. Okay, so there, and that's where it's going to go, just like that. And see, it's a little bit bigger and a little bit smaller, so we don't see the paper underneath it. Isn't that cool? All right, let's add this to it using, let's use some glue. Make sure you use a good amount on the edge here. Now, you do not have to make a fish window. You can make whatever you want to make. This is just how you would make the window pane for a window if you were going to make one. Press it down in place, just like that, and be patient. It's going to take a little while. I would suggest using craft glue, or if you're really good, use a glue gun. But and then if you want, you can kind of get rid of the extra glue around the edges. Oops, you got to be careful. You might need to hold it in place for just a few minutes, just like that. I'm just pressing it down so that glue gets in that foam. See, you got to make sure that your finger doesn't get stuck to it. Now, I made this one out of foam. That's one window frame that you could do. But let's frame these. Now, there's a lot of other ways you could do it. You could just say, hey, that's a lot of work. I think I'm just going to draw and use marker, because that's totally a way you could do it. Oh, I like that. That's one way. Or you could use a piece of leftover cardstock. Hey, look, I got some right here. What do I do? Just like I did with the other one. Look, I made some, I drew some lamps that are going to be on the wall. Oh, there's a little fish tank with a little table. I added another little frame there with a kitty. Yeah. And I didn't draw anything here because I think I'm going to make some furniture that goes in here when we build it up. I think I need to make a light though. This is going to be the ceiling. I'm going to make a light hanging from the ceiling. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a piece of my extra leftover cardstock, all right? And I'm just going to kind of fold it into a Z, like that. And I'm going to glue it into place over my C, like that. So see, it kind of like hangs a little bit. You can kind of see, well, the lighting. Let's see if I can do it right. See how it hangs a little? See how it stands up a little? Then I think I'm going to put my light on this. And let's see, what's a light? I think my light is going to, I've got these really cool things in my, let's see, in my crafts. Let's see, I had some extra leftover little jewelry things. So I think I'm going to use one of these as my light. And I'm going to use, I don't know, I got a little circle of leftover from making the window. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue that on top, just like that. So that's going to be the base of my light. And I think, let's see, which one would look good as a, ooh, this one would look good. This little, no, I like this one. I'm going to use that as my light bulb. Just glue it into place, just like that. Cool. And see, when it dries, it'll hang inside our room. Can't see it, but see, it'll hang like that. Isn't that cool? All right, let's let it dry though, because we gotta let that paper dry. That piece. But what about the floor? We need a rug for the floor. How am I gonna make a rug? Let's see. I think I'm gonna make a heart-shaped one. Look at all this glitter. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Let's do that. This is gonna be a messy one. So when you're doing glitter, there's two things. You got to be prepared for the mess, and you've got to be patient because you got to let the glue dry, right? So let's move our room out of the way. Let's get a piece of scrap paper. Let's see, what's the color? I'm just gonna get a piece of scrap. I don't like that. Let's see, where's the scrap I'm gonna use? I gotta look through my scrap paper drawer. Oh, here we go. There we go. We're gonna use this as our scrap. And I'm gonna use my glue, and I'm gonna make a pattern here. Okay, so I made a heart pattern, and let's pick some glitter. Pick one color. The color I want is, of course, on the bottom. There we go. Ooh, look at this stuff. Ooh, this is gonna be good. And I'm just gonna pour it on top. Now make sure you do it on a piece of paper that you can use as scrap. See how I'm sprinkling? Oop, I used a little too much. It's okay, it's okay. Just don't want to waste too much of it. So I'm sprinkling it on that glue. Just like that. All right, see how I did that? Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna carefully pick this up. And there is my first ring of color. I'm just gonna blow it. There. All right, now what you need to do is you need to let that dry so that you can use, if you want to use another color. And this, if you want, you can pour back into your glitter bottle so that you don't waste anything. See? Isn't that cool? See, very careful, pay attention. Ah, very cool. All right, so let's do that. Let's use this. Let's make some more. All right, look at, I made my little glitter carpet. And I'm just gonna glue it down, I think right there. Just like that. Be real careful. Just gonna glue it just in place, just like that, and let it dry for a while. Just like that. All right, now let's get to building some furniture and stuff to go inside. All right, so here we are. And now it's time, we're gonna actually put our little room together, partially, now that this is dried. So I'm gonna use some one-sided tape. Oh my gosh, I'm running out. I'm gonna put it sticky side up on this bottom part of the floor here. Here we go, I got some more. See how that is? And all I'm gonna do is sort of fold it this way. Can you see that? And attaching it. So that's what I did. I just attached it. So now our room is starting to come together. This side's going to be a little tougher, I think. It's going to have a little small piece right there. Oh, it's a little too tall. But I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to fold it. Just tape it in place just like that. We gotta do this side too. Just put it right here. Take the bottom of the wall just like that. See how I did that? That's so cool. Let's get some light in here. Ooh, there we go. I'm gonna leave the top open for now so that we can work inside there. Because we gotta make some furniture or something that goes inside our little room. We need some sort of chair or something, right? You go right there. Look at that. That's cool. Oh, we need a little chair. One more chair. What could I use? What do I have I could put in there? What else could I do? Let's see. I'm going to use this. Maybe I could turn this into a chair. What did we forget? We forgot to put the ceiling on top. So let's do that. And then I think we're going to be done with this project. This is a really fun project. It might take a while, so be patient. Wait for things to for the dry. Wait for things. Wait for the glue to dry. It's been a long morning, everyone. Wait for things to dry. Sometimes you come back to your project and oops, look what I did. It's not quite on. Just pull it up. Make sure that you get the edges just right. Should line up just right there. And this will go over this edge. Just like that. And then let's use some more one-sided tape. And let's now. We'll do this edge. Make sure it's taped pretty close. Do your best at getting them close together. There we go. Kind of pinched it. And there we are. There is. Look at that. All right, there you go. There is our little diorama box room. Look at that. We made it. There's the windows. There's the door. There's even the light on top. And there's a chair we made. I'll just put that. And this is the sofa. We made this a little chocolate sofa. And this is all made from just scraps of my craft scraps. I'm just going to stick that inside there. Ooh, look at that. It's a little nook. It's a little, and you know what I'm going to do? You can make any type of design that you'd like. And maybe, I'll just whip some up right now. Well, I made one that was sort of space themed. Look at this, and there's a little astronaut on his moon rover. Look, he's on the surface of the moon. Ooh, there's the planet Earth. Ooh, look, there's even sun on the roof. Look at, there's his lunar lander. Love that. That could go right there. Let's put that one right next door. That's a really nice one. And then we can put him right in there. So you can do any theme that you want to. Let's see, what other one did I do? And then I did one that was a little bit more standard. See, I made this kitchen. Look at that, that is so cool. I even put I don't know why there's a red chair in the kitchen, and what I did was, if you're making them, and this is what I did, I put the door on one side so that it could fit with the door on the other room, the other diorama. And so now, if you wanted to, you could have them taped together and connect. And look at this. Ooh, they can go into the kitchen. So after you're in the kitchen, you can go into the candy room and get some sugar shock, right? And then, ooh, I don't know, we could even build them on top. So if you wanted to, you could build bigger like that. Look at that. Oh, this is cool. Look at that. So you could build more and more of these little boxes and have all different types of themed rooms. Well, I hope you enjoyed this art project, this art class project today with me. Class, it was so much fun. Ooh, that's an old art project over there. Remember when we made tessellations? I had to keep it. It's so cool, that fish. Anyways, thank you for joining me today for art class. I hope you've enjoyed making this diorama box, and I hope you make lots more. Ooh, that would be so cool to see a wall of diorama boxes of all different types. I love the little kitchen here. Look at that. It's so much fun. Well, I hope you've had fun making these diorama boxes as much as I wish I could do this all day. This would be so much fun. Ooh. But I hope you've enjoyed. Thank you for joining me today in art class. I hope to see you next time. Be sure to hit like and subscribe if you like this video. And if you have any ideas about future art classes, please let me, Matthew Reinhart, know. Because, if you got cool ideas, I want to know what you want to do. We'll do it. I've actually got some really cool ideas for upcoming art classes, so I can't wait to share them with you. All right, everybody, have a great day. Hope you enjoy. See you next time.